Welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. This is Candice Thompson. Stop looking at me like that, Ryan.
I'm glad you
I can't.
I tried to lean out of the way because I thought you were shooting over to her.
Yeah, no. Well, your big head was in the way.
It is a big head. We'll get to that, by the way.
Well, that's one of your many struggles for today.
It's an amazing profile, though.
That's nice.
It looks like it should be on a coin.
Making me blush. Oh, like a wooden nickel?
Yeah.
What kind of coin?
Oh, wooden nickel.
An arcade coin? You only get it at the car wash or something? It's more like a token than a coin, but I'll take it. It's currency.
You should be on it. You got a nice profile.
Both of you.
Thank you.
My goal is to one day do this intro. Just get through it. Just get through it. That is my struggle for the day's guest.
Okay, try it again. Ready? Go.
Hi, guys. Welcome to The Struggle with God damn it. No.
What?
We heard that.
I was right here. I was right here.
Welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I'm Candice Thompson. You guys, thanks for coming back. My loyal listeners and my new fans, thank you for joining. We're very excited to have you. If you have not, oh, wait, I always forget. I always forget to plug the description of the show. So the show, The Struggle, if you're new to my new followers, this show is where I invite my friends on and we talk about the challenges of adulting, because being an adult sucks most of the time if you don't already know that. If you're a new adult, just wait for it, man. If you just turned like 18, just wait till you're 25 and you're in your 30s. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and we're here to laugh about it. So again, thank you for listening. And you can find me on social media, Jokes by Candice and CandiceThompsonComedy.com for my shows. And now I'm going to introduce my co-host, my lovely and hilarious co-host, Brenda Colonna.
Hi, guys. You can find me on Instagram at Brenda Colonna. And if you're interested in donating to my nonprofit called Like Minds, what we do is we help artists and performers find free health care so that they could deal with their mental illnesses. So you can go to Patreon/ I am of Like Minds and donate and help us get started. That's my thing. I got through it.
She did. Look at that.
Yeah. Stared at her the whole time. She didn't even break.
No.
She didn't even break. Stared at her the whole time.
Brenda's a professional.
Didn't even break.
No, I felt good, your stare.
Thanks.
Yeah, I had good energy.
I want you to hit this profile.
You have great.
It felt warm. You know, your what's the opposite of profile? What's your front? What is that?
Face
front
on,
file.
maybe front file.
Is it front
file.
file?
There it is now. If it isn't, it is now.
Your front file feels good.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Nice, Brenda.
There's a lot happening with perspective. You're a piece of work. You're an art piece. You're a walking art piece.
It's
pronounced. Y'all making me feel really fucking good right now.
Ort.
Ort?
What's
right.
that?
Ort.
Ort?
I have been hanging out. I have been hanging out in the art district lately, and they do pronounce it like that. The buyers and the curators.
Oh, of course. That is the original pronunciation of the word. Is Ort.
Is that true?
No.
I was going to say, it is L.A. People say I have an accent all the time, and Los Angeles has an accent, and that's it. It's that. It ain't even wet over here. Like that hard.
I feel like that's like a
Los Angeles.
Like Bay Area.
Nah, I don't know about that. I hear it around here all the time. But when you said
enough to even think about their accents and find out where they're from according to their R's and E's.
It's a lot.
Who gives a shit?
It's a lot to.
No offense.
No, I know.
You guys have broken it down.
No, but like it does come in handy sometimes to have that as a skill, and I'll point out why, because we all know Baron Vaughn. He had me do voiceover for this short film that he was doing, and he was like, I needed somebody with kind of like that Midwest twang. And I was like, you noticed that I have a Midwest? He was like, yeah. And I was like, what? Because I'm so used to it. But it was a film that he shot that was based in the Midwest, and the lead actress like had that same kind of twang. So he was like, and you're her best friend. And I was like, I can't believe that you pay attention to stuff like that. Like I couldn't name anybody right now that had any type of dialect or accent or whatever in their speaking, because I don't pay attention to stuff like that.
I could pay attention, or I know if somebody's from Australia or not, or just that region. It doesn't even have to be out of
Japan.
Yeah,
right.
That I can say.
Obvious.
Right. For sure.
Then I'm like, oh, you're not from here.
You gotta be not speaking the language for me to get.
For me to notice.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what it is. If it's like a regional, continental U.S. type of thing, no, I'm not going to pay attention
continental
to that.
U.S.
Yeah, I'm barely paying attention to words.
Yeah,
let alone how you say it.
How you say it.
Yeah, you got to be saying some really interesting shit for me to even look. But now a profile, that'll get me staring.
Or a front file.
Thank you.
Now, we have to introduce our wonderful, hilarious guest for the day, whose voice you may recognize from the wildly successful podcast, The Crab Feast.
Oh, yeah.
Say hello to comedian Ryan Sickler.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me. My front file and my profile. All my files.
All YouTube.
Thank you for having all my files.
All your YouTube has your front file. How does that feel? Is that a lot of
YouTube?
pressure?
That's
yeah.
YouTube. Well, we're not live streaming. We're just recording. And
No,
this
but they're going to
will be
stare
up.
at you.
Yeah, I don't.
front.
That's there. I mean, I feel sorry for them. That's the truth.
What are you talking about? You're a handsome guy.
You know,
What do you mean?
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle.
You're not in the middle.
I'm cool. Listen, I'm cool with a C. I'm real cool with a C.
I'll
take
with
B.
a C.
I'll take a B.
On a
Yeah.
scale of A to F to A, you think you're a C?
Why is it
I
F?
feel like a C sometimes.
Because he's doing letters.
Well, why does it stop at F is my question.
Because that's
Well,
the,
we
that's
stop
the
at
I
grade.
don't hate myself
well, that's
that
the
much. We don't need to
grade
get
scale.
G,
No, I'm
the
just-
G
oh,
and
is that-
shit.
is
She wants to go down to H.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, damn, Brenda, you just gonna say that right in front of his face?
I mean, can we get it down to K? How about we stop at K? Like, God damn,
She's
bro.
like, I give Ryan a hard P.
Built
a
me
hard
up,
P.
built me up, and dropped me to a P.
Bring him right
When I
down.
said a coin, that was to get into the John.
Even better.
I
A
think that-
recycled toilet coin.
I think the normal person was like, oh, a grade scale, right? A to F. That's
Yeah.
where I
No,
went.
where
That's
I
what-
was.
Right.
My question, I didn't know that the grayscale ended at F. I was like,
Well-
does it always end at F? Does it
yeah,
end at G?
you didn't go to school?
No, we didn't do grayscales. I mean,
Yes, you did.
Yes,
you
you
didn't
did.
get A's
Don't
on
tell me what I
papers
did. You
and
did pass
B's
and
and
fail.
C's.
grade scale.
Yeah.
I think they said they wanted a grayscale.
What the hell is going on?
Grade
here?
scale? You talking about Game of
That's what I was
Thrones
like.
references?
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about.
The
You mean
grade scale.
grades.
Grades.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it ends with F.
A
Yeah.
being the best.
Fine,
F
now
being
I'm
the
in
best.
on it.
Now you got
I'm
it.
in on it now.
Woo! I was like,
Thank
I know
God.
Brenda
Felt
and
a
reading
little
does
extra
not,
insulted.
letters don't get along, but Jesus.
I had no idea. What you
I
guys
got to
were
stop
talking
at
about.
F. I mean, I wasn't even going there. I was stopping at C.
so
I stopped at
That's
C.
so insulting. I'm so sorry.
I was really serious. I was like, you just, wow, okay.
I am so sorry.
And they just met for the first time.
I can't imagine how I must walk around the world just insulting people. Shit.
It felt
But
good.
no,
I
but
gotta
it's
tell
not
you
from malice when it's Brenda. Just no, it's
I
never
could
from
feel
malice.
that. I could feel that.
It's never from malice. It's from just not knowing.
I was confused as to the confusion. You know what I'm saying?
Brenda
I
lives
was
Now I do.
under a
confused by
rock.
the confusion.
I do live under a rock, but I love it.
She
Well,
does.
It's a quiet
And she
rock.
even defended, like, don't tell me what I did.
I did.
Oh, wait, grades? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah,
did
you
do that.
right.
We
You
did do
right.
that. We did that. As a matter of fact, every grade I had, we did that. Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't think we ever did gray scale. I just thought you said that.
No, it's pretty much what I did.
Oh, my God.
What a ridiculous way to start this episode. I would have it no other way. Ryan, where can people find you on social media?
Okay. I am RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all my social media. As Candice said, you can listen to old episodes of The Crab Feast. My
But you
new
got a new
podcast is
one.
The Honeydew. Yep.
What's
the
that? What's that
Honeydew
about?
about?
Because that's such an interesting name.
It's hot. I want to highlight the lowlights of life. I want to talk about the hard times. I want to talk about the embarrassing moments. It could be a life story. It could be a divorce. It could be a bad split from work or
Yeah.
whatever it is, a business relationship, whatever. And I want to talk about that and laugh at it. And so far, I'm sitting at this. I say this on the Honeydew. I was sitting in a diner one night and I ate the fruit cup and I just didn't eat the honeydew.
Yeah, no one eats it.
I love honeydew.
But
see,
see-
get out.
Brenda, you know what?
You would like honeydew.
You would.
I do. And that's such an
Down on
insult.
that
You
gray.
would like honeydew.
What honeydew?
So it's
What's the
okay when
honeydew
it
you
goes
like
red.
on the gray scale? Where does it fall on the gray scale?
It's a B+.
Wow.
I would say
Well,
watermelon.
honeydew?
You're someone
Yeah, I
we should
love
fuck with
honeydew.
because if you like a honeydew, then you're probably a good person.
Really?
So I'm leaving like you.
I think you're an awful person.
I see honeydew all over everybody's table, and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, most people don't fuck with the honeydew.
They
And
don't.
then I realized that I am a honeydew of life. I've been thrown away by my mom. I've been thrown away nonstop. So I was like, oh, well, let's
You're disposable.
talk about that.
I don't think you're a honeydew. And
Thanks.
I love honeydew.
Well, here's the thing.
I
what
really
I'm
do.
saying.
I
That's
think
a
it's
good
really,
thing.
and I like cantaloupe.
I know I fucks with cantaloupe.
You
Yeah,
have
I
a
do
sister
like cantaloupe.
podcast called Cantaloupe?
Watermelon.
Yeah, you could do a spinoff called
Yeah.
Good.
Cantaloupe.
That's my Patreon.
I'm sponsored by Ralph's.
Sponsored by Ralph's
And,
An imperfect
Kroger.
fruit.
I started using Imperfect
I
Syrup.
saw. I wasn't happy with Imperfect Syrup.
No, you weren't?
Well, because they choose what they can give you, and then
No, you can
end up-
customize it.
Oh, I had the one that chose for me. I ended up with like 6 turnips. Like, the fuck am I
Just
doing
click the
this?
other button. You have to explain so much to Brenda. Let me come over and I'll just click the other button on the website that
I'm
says
not into
customize.
anymore.
Well, hold on.
That was too much pressure because you have to go in on a certain day.
Yeah, but it sends you an email and says go in and customize. So really quickly, I would like to say I was a huge fan of Crab Feast.
Thank
It
you.
was
You had such a great episode. Go
Thank
listen
you.
to Candice's episode. It is hilarious.
I love him and Jay together, but I would like to tell you a quick honeydew story because I know how much you hate honeydew. But I also would like to say this, that a good honeydew is tasty, but you can't find a good one.
Who gets them?
You can't find
And
one.
I don't hate honeydew. Here's the thing. I don't put that kind of energy in. I'm just like, it's not for me. It's just not for me.
It's
and
not.
I'm out.
It is like, when you get the
way you get treated in the industry, the way you get treated sometimes by family, by friends.
Yeah, you just get like
employers.
You're not my
by
first pick.
Bus driver. Yeah.
You're not my first choice.
Whoever.
Why would I pick this one?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like the snack pack, the Frito-Lay snack pack, where it's like you get the 2 types of Doritos and potato chips, and then you got the Fritos. They're the last picked, and that's how I feel about honeydew. It's like no one wants that. Why would I pick Fritos when
Over
I've
Doritos.
got
I'm starting to feel
Doritos?
Get
really
the
alone.
fuck out of here, Fritos.
You should feel really alone.
You like
wait,
Fritos?
because I take
About to
Fritos.
grab a bag out of her
Over
pocket right
Doritos?
I
And potato chips? Like
I would take potato chips last.
now. You take
Over
Fritos
Frito.
over any potato chip?
Yeah, I would take Frito over.
do you see our
potato chip.
faces?
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts.
Brenda, this is a side of you I've never even
and I
known.
gotta
And if
tell
I had
you-
known this, I wouldn't have never asked you to co-host this podcast.
the
That
fruit
would have been the end of it. Hang on. You said Fritos? Okay.
Yeah, this changes.
Next.
It's the truth.
This changes everything.
Look, and I got to tell you that the fruit cup, I leave the grape.
What,
I don't want to
the
fuck
red
with that
grape?
Yeah, the red
I'm
grape.
cool with the red grape being
You like-
back.
yeah, the
no,
red
I
grape
like
is
the green
last.
grapes. I don't care. No, I'll eat the red grape over the honeydew.
Over
Yeah,
the
for
honeydew.
There's just
sure.
no flavor in honeydew.
It is
You're
very
right. When
weak
there's
flavor.
a good one, a doctor recently told me that he listened to the damn podcast, and he said, I think 2 months out of the year, or
They're
when
a
honey,
good
that's
honey-
it.
Yeah, no.
But they're served year round.
And we don't even know what months they are.
Right. Nobody knows what the fuck that is.
That's the thing.
But are they
2 months, but
consecutive
you gotta
months?
guess
or is
which
it like
month.
February and September?
Yeah,
Like, huh?
I don't know. But
That doesn't
wait.
even line up.
So I was so mad because I don't think you've known this, but I've been doing a raw vegan diet since like end of December. So I'm eating mostly fruits and occasionally like some salads during the day. But so I've been doing mostly produce. So I went to Lassen's, which is like a health food store on the corner where I live. And I saw this random melon that I was like, it looked familiar, but I didn't recognize the label. It said Gallia on it. So I was like, what is Gallia? And it said from Mexico. I was like, oh, I'll try this mystery Mexican melon, right? And I bought it. I cut into it. Guess what it fucking was?
Honeydew. They had to package it as something else because so
That's what I
somebody
said.
would take that
That's
shit.
exactly what I said on my Instagram story. I said, and they know they ain't shit. They know they taste like trash because they disguised their name because they know nobody was gonna fuck with a honeydew. So they started calling themselves Gallia. I was so mad. I ranted on Instagram stories. I did like 8 Instagram, just going off because I was so, and I had to eat a fucking
How'd I
honeydew because I
miss it?
spent. It was so expensive too. I was like, I almost went back and threw it through the window of the grocery store.
I think you could bring produce back.
You
if it's
can,
not good.
but-
I mean, who's going to?
You can, but I was just like, fuck it.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
Package that shit up.
And
as
I
something
thought
else.
about you. I almost like, I think I
You
was
have to
gonna
come
message
on.
you. I will totally come on.
Um,
I will totally come on. All right,
Can
guys.
I say this real quick?
Yeah, go
One more
ahead.
thing. My new album, Get a Hold of Yourself, available everywhere you get music. iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, Google Play, all that stuff.
Perfect. And you said your social media, right?
Yeah, RyanSickler.com,
Yeah.
all that.
We're
Everything.
gonna do
album
it again
called?
then.
Oh, the album's called Get a Hold of Yourself.
Ryan's very funny.
And
So,
I've got some upcoming dates. You can go to my website and see that. I'm on the road a little bit.
what's your website?
RyanSickler.com.
Boom.
RyanSickler.com.
Happened.
Boom. It happened.
Honeydew, the album, all that.
Get it all. Ryan's the best. All right. So my struggle for the week has been a lot of people's struggle. This is new information. You guys probably already know if you follow any comedians on social media. We had a really dear friend pass away just yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that is I had struggles lined up for this this episode, and then I was like, this one trumps all of them. Like, fuck Brody Stevens. was such a great comic, such a genuine person, and kind of an institution in comedy. Like, I was talking to Jerry Rocher last night. He was like, "Why did this one hurt so hard?" And I was like, "Because it was Brody.
It's
like
Brody.
He's been around most comics. They see him like I saw him regularly, and it was one of those things where it was just like, and he always had the same energy. He was so positive, and he was the same with everybody. Like I remember I met him for the first time. I was with Ed Greer, who we had on, we're having on an episode of this, also a little very funny comic, and we were in the Valley, so representative of Brody. Right. And we just ran into him randomly. We were open micers at the time, and we just ran into him like at a convenience store. And we were just like, "Oh, it's Brody." And we were like, "Should we say anything to him?" And then Ed was like, "Yeah, why not? He's cool." And I was like, we went up to him, and he was just very casual and very just like, "Oh, nice to meet you guys." Very open and just completely down to talk to these two like open mic losers who he didn't have to talk to. And so right then I was like, I know he was a good guy, but also I don't remember most people's, like the first time I saw most people perform, but I remember exactly the first time I saw Brody perform because he just made so much of an impact on me. He was doing warm up at Scott Aukerman of Comedy Bang Bang, did a pilot. I forget what it was called, but it was a sketch comedy pilot where Ian Edwards was a part of it. James Adomian was a part of it. And I was there with Ian, and this was like 2007. And I remember seeing Brody do warm up, and I was like, this guy is fucking hilarious because his style was so unique. He would just rant about being from the Valley. He just represented 818 Till I Die. Like, he would make the most esoteric topics funny and relatable. Like, there are people there who had no idea what he's talking about. Like, I don't live in the Valley. I don't know what you're talking about, but this is hilarious. And a lot of it was his cadence, but just his passion and how he would just make you feel uncomfortable, but then also make you laugh in that moment of uncomfortability. And it was just, he was great. And, but I remember that moment, and I was just like, God, this guy is hilarious to me. And so seeing him regularly, and I can't count the number of times I brought him up in the main room after I got passed at the store. Like, I feel like for the first 2 years after I got passed, I was probably the person that brought him up most in the main room because he had that last spot. And so I get the spot right before the last spot because that was like the Brody Stevens spot. Like, you get to run the light as long as you want. He would go up and talk for like 45 minutes. And so, yeah, we shared the stage so many times. And it just like performing yesterday in the main room for the first time was that was difficult for everybody, but it just did not feel the same. It was hard, but I just wanted to, of course, if you have anything you want to share about Brody.
Well, Brody's one of those people that, like, everyone knew Brody.
Yeah.
And you look at the outpouring of love online, and the MLB posted something today.
Oh, shit. I didn't see that.
Major League Baseball gave props as a Reseda High School pitch. I mean.
Wow.
So, and then you've got Chris Rose from like Best Damn Sports Show, who's on NFL Network, tweeting out because Brody did audience warm up on Best Damn Sports Show.
Wow,
so
yeah.
that's two major entities outside of comedy that love and know him. The ball players know him, and then you've got all of the comedians in every aspect of not just stand up but comedy. Brody was everywhere. Opening or crowd warm up for Chelsea lately.
Yep.
So many shows. Obviously, his credits, as he would always list. But
The Hangover, Hangover 1, Hangover 2.
Cut out of funny people.
I've gone to heaven now. Can you guys say that? No.
No. And
he's bragging up there now. He's telling his
probably.
credits. Yeah, he added heaven to his credits for sure.
Yeah. I spent a lot of last night and this morning just watching videos of him. One, I watched it. I'm doing the show tonight at West Side, and he just got off the stage and he walked all through the audience and just walked right up to people, and he would do that thing where I talked to Tom Segura yesterday. He called me. We talked for a while, and we were it eventually led to laughing about the stuff he would do because Tom's like, I fanboyed out on him hard for a while. I said, me too, man. I would always go and sit in the back and watch him just pick out a random couple from Iowa.
Yeah.
And narrow down the fucking high school, like Jefferson High, your mascot's the Generals. And they'd be like, it is. And you're like, how the fuck's he doing that? And it was beautiful and brilliant and funny. And I'm just really going to miss him. He'd always give you a hug, high five.
Always.
And he was always there. That's one of those things.
That's what I'm saying. He was an institution.
Any show,
was always
he's there. You know you're going to see Brody.
Yeah.
And I'm going to miss that.
And no one can say anything bad about him.
No. Everyone loved Brody. And it goes into the Hollywood world of movies and, all of it. His reach was, incredible.
You saw the tweets, people saying that he should be when they memorialized for because he was in Hangover. He was in both the Hangovers. And he got cut out of Funny People. Yeah. So it's put him, imagine.
He's been in enough movies.
I know. Put him in. That would be amazing.
Hangover alone, probably more people seen that worldwide than half these fucking movies that are going to be in the goddamn Oscars this year.
For sure.
I hope he gets it. That would be something else.
It just makes me so sad. I will.
And everyone's stories. I love seeing everyone's personal story.
It's the only thing that's comforting.
It's been pretty damn awesome. And it's these pages of stuff. And, we did the home run derby in the summer. We just had this fun home run derby. And Brody's a ball player. So I went up to him at the Comedy Store. I go, look, we're doing this home run derby. I've been hitting the cages. I can't hit gas. I'm not the ball player. I can't hit gas. But I can hit about 60 if you can throw it steady. And he was like, Ryan, I don't know if I could throw it that fast or that slow enough. And he started laughing. I was like, well, will you just come? And he came, and people have been sending me pictures and clips of that, of him out there playing ball with us and everything, man. So I was so glad he came to that. But of course he did. Because Brody's down for everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I'm going to miss him.
We miss you, Brody. Moving on. Brenda, do you have a story?
Where are you at on the grayscale?
I don't. I'm impacted by what you guys are saying. And so
because we've all lost somebody.
I had a struggle paying attention to you guys. It got boring for a second. No, I'm kidding.
Ooh, shots fired.
No. I don't know. It's as somebody who feels like I struggle with that. I struggle with feeling depression. And so to hear these stories and I'm listening to you guys talk about how much you love him and how the industry loves him and it's just really, I don't know, sad to me.
It is.
I don't know. I want to. It's sad that somebody that is so loved couldn't recognize it. Just if they would have just held on for a couple more minutes and said that, then that.
Yeah, he just. And here's the thing, and what's sad about it is that we all knew he's been struggling with this for so long. So unfortunately, when you hear that something like this happened, honestly, I can't say that anyone was surprised. I can say that we were very saddened and we didn't think it would happen like this soon probably, but he was so open about it. And so we know how he was unstable for a very long time. And because he just didn't put on to the public necessarily, he would always try and be positive all the time. We know that was his thing.
That was his thing.
But it wasn't easy to him. That didn't come easy to him.
I never thought it would happen.
I didn't think it would. I just wasn't surprised. I didn't think it would, but I wasn't surprised.
I think it's just about telling the people that are here that you love them from now on.
Absolutely.
And making a point to tell people that you care. And more people should be doing that. I don't know.
Dan Van Kirk and I have been pitching a show around Hollywood for a year and a half, Hollywood, called The Living Wake. I'm just putting it fucking out there.
Oh, shit.
And it's exactly this. Why are we waiting till people die to show this outpouring of love?
Mm-hmm. It's so messed up.
Show it now. And the one thing that you get to do when we do that is hear it and see it and feel it. And you're not doing that dead.
Right.
And then at the end, you get to get up and you be like, you know that fucking story Brenda just told? Let me tell you the whole story. Yeah. You don't get to do that. Somebody gets up at your shit when you're dead and they say whatever the fuck they want to say.
That's right,
It's it. You don't get to lay up and go, hey, I didn't steal that car. You don't get to do that.
Yourself. Yeah.
And you don't get to pick what you fucking check out in.
For sure.
Unless you go to your children or whoever and say, bury me in this dress or this suit. Yeah, they'll put you in whatever. Put you in sweatpants.
Right.
You don't have a choice. So you get to pick what you want to wear.
I hate corduroy.
You also don't get a picture of your your final picture.
Yeah, yeah.
That big one they put up over here.
Yeah.
You're like, I hate that. That's not my profile.
You know what?
That's
That
not the
headshot
picture
is
the
from
coin
17
used.
years ago.
I agree with you, and that's why every year for my birthday I ask for my funeral, and no one will give it to me. I'm always trying to get my funeral
What
so
do you
I can
mean?
be there.
You like planned?
Yeah, I would like for somebody to plan my
No,
funeral
you want
for
the
me,
wake.
and I want to be
The
there.
funeral's after
Oh,
the
yeah,
wake.
no, I want the wake.
Yeah,
The wake.
that's done when we're at
The funeral is the burial
I want to
part.
see how they act there too. I don't want to be in there. I want to watch.
That's
And
so morbid.
I don't know. I like it. I like the
living
idea
wake.
of
I'm
hearing,
putting it out there
of
for
hearing what
posterity.
people would say. I want to hear what they would say outside. Like, it's one thing to what you would say at the
Yeah,
wake
yeah.
in front of people, but then what are the shit they're saying about you outside? And
Of
the
course.
corners? Like,
Of course.
I like
But
the idea.
last night in all the corners of that Comedy Store, people were sharing, just like I mean, it eventually just went to the funniest fucking stories. I saw Matt Fulcheron put one up of Brody that said, it was right when he had got his billboard on Sunset from Comedy Central.
Oh, God.
And it was a tight room that night in the OR. And Brody,
Oh, I know. I saw it. I liked
you
it.
keep being a tight audience, I'll keep being up on a billboard on Sunset Boulevard. Good night.
He called. If he was good for anything, it was calling out audiences on their bullshit. And I'm telling you, making
Loved it.
people feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
And he
Even
would make
more
it so
uncomfortable.
fucking
He
funny.
got off the
Yes.
stage and walked through the crowd.
He would make them
You're
so
like,
uncomfortable,
oh my God, this
and then
guy's
would
right
yell at
next to
them.
me. Yep, yeah.
And it's so fucking funny. Oh, damn it, Brody.
Yeah, damn it.
Sorry, guys. Anyway,
But I agree with you. I go around telling people I like them all the time.
you should.
I always do. I always tell people how much
She does.
how much I like them
That's
because you
nice.
should hear it because nobody says it.
Yeah, no, like when you first were saying it to me, I'd be like, I didn't know how to take it because it was like, no one says it.
Right.
No one says that shit. And then you're just like, and you think that person's weird.
Yeah.
because they're being vulnerable and they're telling you how they feel, which is what we should do as humans.
Yeah.
It's
I just texted the other day. I was like, "You're a real good friend."
You did.
just out of nowhere.
She
Because you
did.
should, when you feel that,
That's
like,
nice.
you should tell the person.
my
'Cause
first
you think
reflex
it.
was to throw my phone. But then I was like,
You did. It broke. I saw it on Instagram.
so? All right, Ryan,
Yes.
we gonna get into your struggle. What you struggling with?
My struggle is, it's being a single parent and successfully co-parenting is my struggle. I do it well. I'll give my
You can't.
on a gray scale. I'll give it a B.
I was gonna say you can't rate
And a
yourself.
letter grade, I'll give it
Wait,
a B.
are you calling it a grayscale or
I
a
did
grade?
that
You
time,
did?
but
Okay.
I gave it on
Because it's confusing.
I did it on the gray and the grade. I'm
Okay.
doubling up on B's.
To all of the Game of Thrones
I might be
listeners or
A-minus.
watchers, we know grayscale. Do you watch Game of Thrones? Grayscale. You know grayscale, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. It's confusing.
It looks kind of like eczema.
Yeah.
Just put some
Lizard.
coconut. Just put some
Lizardish.
coconut oil on it.
Lizardish a little bit.
Anyway,
So what's it like to co-parent? What's it like starting?
It was very difficult because my daughter's mother and I had dated for like 2.5 years, and then we split for like maybe a little over 2 years, and then she started coming back around,
that's what happens.
and I was resistant at first, and I took quite a bit of time to see if I even wanted to do this because she had a son, has a son,
Yeah.
who I was just, I loved and I considered him a stepson. He called me that. One day in school, I went to pick him up and he goes, all the kids are like, who is that comes and gets you all the time? He's like, what do I call you? I go, I really don't know. And he's like, it's my stepdad. And I was like, he's like, are you good with that? And I was like, I'm good with that.
Aw.
So, we're still very close to, and he's 15 now, but he was like 6 when I met him.
Oh, wow.
So I was hesitant to get back into a relationship because losing that original relationship was the first time I lost 2 people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd never had that before. And I was like, whoa, this one sucks
hurts.
even worse.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to communicate at all. And I honored that. And we didn't talk. And then the damn Ravens had to get to the AFC Championship. And I turned her and the Ravens and her son into Ravens fans. And when Lee Evans dropped that ball in the corner of the end zone and we weren't going to the Super Bowl, she texted, and I hadn't heard from her in over a year.
Hilarious.
I can't believe that. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, that's salt in the wound right there. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to fuck. And then nothing. Again, I don't respond or whatever. I think I might have
Oh, you
said,
just
yeah,
left
that's,
her
I
hanging?
think I might have said something like, yeah, that's unbelievable. But then there was no.
You wrote back,
I did
new
not.
phone, who dis?
Who dis? I did not continue the communication beyond that.
Yeah.
And then another year goes by, and the motherfucking Ravens got to get to the Super Bowl, and then they got to win the goddamn
So
Super Bowl.
you blame the Ravens for
And
this.
that's when it was. I appreciated the Super Bowl, and then she hit me up then, and then again, I was resistant for a few months. Was just text communication, but then we ended up getting back together, and we got engaged like a year into it, I think, and then we wanted to have a baby. So we started trying to have a baby, and you know, my brother, they had their second one pretty easy. The first one, it was like, it got to be a science experiment. You know what I mean? Like, you got to body temperatures right and the this and the that on this day. And they're like, hurry, because it was really hard. And then they finally did. The second time they got
Did you do those upside down moves? Switch it,
I
legs up in
don't,
the air?
but I'm a walker. I'll walk you out to the kitchen.
Whatever gets the job
whatever
done.
gets it done. So, you know, she went to her doctor. I went to mine. We were talking to them about, because you think it's easy to have a baby. There's billions of us.
No, I know.
And, you know, if you're a teenager and you don't want the motherfucker, you'll have
I was going to say, it is easy for stupid people.
Right.
But once you get to the point where you can actually want one, that's when God is like, nah.
It could be. And I was lucky. It took 3 times.
Wow.
But it was all about, like, this one window. You know, you're using apps and all this stuff. So, you know, I loved it. I went to all the appointments. I was super into. I still am. I just have always wanted to be a dad.
Yeah.
And I wanted a daughter because I grew up with brothers, and I only had like 1 or 2 girl cousins that I hung out with. The other ones were older that I still talk to, but
and you had the stepson, so
you
have a boy.
All boys. And
can we rewind for a second?
Sure.
Just so I want some clarity.
Okay.
The
science
stepson is from the same woman that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You broke up. Okay.
So my daughter and he are half brother, half sister.
Okay.
Yeah. Brother and sister, you know how that goes. But where were we? Where was I in my line?
You wanted a girl?
Yeah, I wanted a girl because I knew it would. I just knew it would calm me down. I knew it would change my everything. I just knew it would.
It does change you as a man when you have a daughter. Because again, I know from personal experience. I used to be a man, and then I had a daughter, and now I'm a woman.
I remember when you had that Adam's apple.
Yep.
I say all the time, I love your apple.
And I would say, thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
But it's true. Guys change when they have daughters. Because you know you're now have to protect this fragile thing.
Yeah, not only protect, but, you know, it's opened my eyes to how a lot of men really are. I don't talk to dudes about the way they date their women, the women are in their life, or the men in their life. I don't really get into that, I guess, a lot. I
don't think most guys do.
Yeah, I don't be like, what do you like? Are you a giver? All right, what do you like? What's your love language? I don't ask my dude friends that shit. But I do ask ladies that.
I think you guys need to talk
You're
about
right,
stuff
though.
like that. I wish you guys would.
If every dude, because I remember getting the 5 Languages of Love book, and I read that motherfucker.
Oh, look
twice.
at you.
Did you read it because you were having issues and you wanted to change it?
Yeah, her mom gave it to me. This is the first time we were together.
Wow.
This is hilarious. So I read it, and she's like, this is the one I am. So I read the whole book. And you know those things like in life that just happen where it's just been here the whole time?
Yeah.
Right here. And you're doing this.
Right.
And then it just finally fucking smacks you. You're like, how in the fuck
did I not see this?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I was a little bit of that when I read it, because I was like, oh yeah, of course someone would love someone else the way they feel loved, the way it feels good for them.
Yeah, because it's the only thing you know.
Right.
Mathematically, that makes sense. But in a practical world, someone who loves to be showered with flowers and gifts, another person's like, I don't give a fuck about that, man. Get the car washed. Fix the goddamn light bulb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shit like that.
Yeah.
Versus affection, and you know, some people aren't into that. Public affection, holding hands, that sort of thing.
Right.
So that's when it made sense to me. Like, oh, I need to learn how to. Because the whole time you think you're being a good person, I'm loving you, but it's like, yeah, but not the way I like
need
that.
it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you're feeding me, but you're giving me fucking, you know, Spanish rice. I don't want Spanish rice all the goddamn
I like basmati.
Where's the motherfucking sticky rice?
But it's true. That's why communication is so important.
Oh.
If you're not telling one another what your needs are, then what are we doing? You're just going to get mad at that person for not fulfilling your needs, but you haven't told them what you need.
Exactly. So
what do y'all need?
I read her chapter twice. And it's I can't remember the language, but it's it's getting things done, like I was saying, like the car washed or get the laundry done or could you, make sure the dishes are done or whatever. Excuse me. So
he's like, show me love by being my slave. Like, that's what shows me love.
By doing the laundry.
At the end of that list.
I don't understand
Or
that.
excuse me, at the end of that language, there's a list and it's a homework and it says, ask your partner to write down the things that, just over the next month, they'd like you to get done.
Yeah.
If you can help them out, because again, she was a single mom. So she's being torn everywhere.
She's tired.
Right? So I do that. Oh, I keep asking her and
Single moms too feel like they have to do everything on their own, so they don't want to let you do anything.
Right.
But that's the only thing that helps you show them love. So then they become
and they're
this
like, I got
paradox of like,
I said I got it.
Yeah. Like of a stone wall on every side.
It's true, yeah.
I'm so sorry, Ryan.
It's okay.
Did I break that down correctly?
You
That's
did,
who she is, right? Oh, yeah.
100%.
Sorry.
So she yells at me for telling her to create this list. So I'm like, you told me to read this motherfucking book and this chapter. I read the chapter twice. I'm doing what it tells me to do. So she tells her friend, he's out hiking with her one day. And he's like, wait a second. You told him to read this book? Like, most dudes wouldn't even read this book.
And
he read the chapter.
And
now he's
applying
asking you to do what the book says. And you're telling he's
you're
like,
yelling
you're
at
fucking
him.
crazy. You're fucking crazy. So communication was never great. Ultimately, or the language, the love language was never great. Let's put it that way.
Time out. There really are only 5 languages?
That's what the book says. I don't know. But in that book there are. That's a lot of language.
It is but that doesn't.
Think about how many people there are in the world. There's only 5 ways.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there are only 5, but it's
what,
just a good.
That's what they say.
It's a good way to step.
Who is they?
That's what they say.
Them.
The love language people.
Yeah. All right. I guess we have to trust these love language people.
And I'm not saying you should rush out and buy that book or anything, but I don't have any stock in it. But it just opened my eyes up to just a fundamental thing. Like, oh yeah, oh, I totally get it. And then I would look back on relationships I had, like, oh, she like that and tried to love me like that. I didn't like that. See you later. And I was like, got it.
Yeah.
So we have a baby. Now that was all round 1. I call it round 1. Round 2.
Wow.
Things are going good. Round 2.
Boxing match.
I'm exhausted.
Don't worry. We had a lot of time in the corner.
Paul, get in a bikini and hold up a number to keep me.
Just hold up 3 through 30.
Going.
Brenda comes out. Round 2.
Go to the profile, girl. So we get pregnant after 3 tries, which is
You're
pretty
a great
good.
guy. You even said we got pregnant.
Well,
did you wear one of those baby stomachs too?
I just grew it naturally. I didn't have to wear that shit. Sympathy belly, but it felt good.
You're a great dude.
I still haven't lost my baby weight.
Sugarfish.
Sugarfish.
So you had the baby.
So, yep, have the baby. And a year into it, she decides she's out, doesn't want to do it. So now I have to move out. And
out of the relationship.
Out of everything. And that wasn't what I was.
And momming? Being a mom?
Me?
No, she's out of.
You said she's out of everything.
No.
Just out of the relationship.
She wants out of the relationship. She wants me. Well, she wants me out of the relationship.
I hate to.
It was that book.
I said it wrong. Maybe there is a 6th language of love. It's called
That's
I don't want it. Keep it to your damn self. Chapter 6.
Aw. She only gave it 1 year, and that's the hardest year.
Yeah, it's a tough year. So,
you guys were engaged at this point.
We were engaged.
I don't like this girl for you at all.
And
listen, I don't know her. I don't like her.
Were
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
we talked about your situation, and I diagnosed her.
Oh yeah. You came in hard.
Oh, I did. I diagnosed her when we were San Diego. We were doing Mal's show. Mal had it. Remember that?
Show,
yeah.
So I go off, get my own place, and now I'm a new dad. You know, you talk to some dad or mom that's been in this shit for 30 years, up to the shit they've been through, seen, dealt with. You're a new parent at 1 year old, and now I'm a new single parent, and she's been through this already, so she knows what she's doing, and I just went through crazy health issues at first. A lot of it was, I'm sure, stress and everything, but it got bad. I was in and out of the hospital the whole time for 6 or 7 months trying to figure out what the hell was going on with me. And then finally resolve all that stuff. And that's when I decided, like, look, I'm going to rebuild my life in stages. First one is health. Got to get, if there's no you, there's nothing. What are we doing?
For sure.
And then it was, you know, get a will. I don't have a will. My dad never had a will. My dad died at 42 when I was 16. He didn't have a will. Then you got to get the will protected, the last will and testament, because if you don't, that thing goes into probate court. And
then you're arguing.
2
people
years,
it's forever.
Even if I just put Candice gets everything, it still goes, but I don't have it protected. It goes into probate, 2 years. And by the time you get what you're supposed to get, every person's nickel and dime that thing.
Sure.
So you're not even getting what you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
You know?
Protect it, guys. Get a will and protect
that's right.
it.
I busted my ass last year. I got my daughter a life insurance policy. I got a will. I went and did the whole thing. So now it does not ever even touch court. It just,
goes
what it says, and
yeah.
she gets.
Yep.
And I made sure I got my health back on track and then put a little money away for 401k, that sort of stuff. Because I hadn't
real adult
nothing,
stuff.
Adult stuff. That's what I'm saying. I knew my daughter would change me. And right now, and we go through ups and downs. Everyone does in a healthy relationship anyway. You have arguments and not. So
are you talking about with your daughter?
With my daughter's mother,
or the mom.
co-parenting.
Okay.
Yeah,
the co-parenting.
we do pretty good. I mean, we have our moments for sure, but every couple does. And if you think it's hard to raise kids as a couple under one
unit,
roof, you have to be even more on the same page when you're not, because when my daughter's over there, it feels she's 3 miles. It feels like another world. Like,
really,
what are you doing over there?
Yeah.
Like, I never wanted to just be a part-time parent. So when we sat down, you'll laugh at this. This is dark but funny.
My favorite combination.
So we sit down and she's like, I want to talk about splitting up and how we're going to co-parent and everything. And I'm a mess. I'm just a wreck. I'm crying. And she's just sitting there just talking to me about it. And I didn't have a game plan. I don't know anything. So she's like, well, what about every other Wednesday and every other weekend? I was like, fuck that. That's like a play thing. I want to be a father. A dad. I don't want to be, just some play date and shit. So I want 50-50. So we couldn't agree on how to do that. And then I got served with papers saying we were going to court for, custody, and this is how we were going to do it.
Oh man, now it's going to cost money,
right? And so I look at it, and I'm just like, yeah, this is, again, our communication wasn't great. But when I read this paper,
I'd blame the Ravens too.
This is their fault. If they hadn't gone to the Super Bowl,
this is a bad team.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing of all of it. Then we'll come back. Like, I wouldn't trade any of it because I have my daughter. I wouldn't trade one bit of the struggle,
of course, for
that payoff. But as you're going through it, it's fucking difficult. So, where was I? Oh, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, I agree with like seriously 90% of this shit. There's 10% of it I don't. And I know that a lawyer's job in that situation is to make sure you don't agree, because I don't get paid if you two go, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah.
I need you to be pissed off about holidays and shit and argue for months.
Right.
And I need you to say, fuck that, and keep it going and keep you in court. We know people that are, shit. Larson told me about a guy that was 6 figures in on legal fees.
Ugh.
Another person I know was 25,000 in before they weren't even at mediation yet. This was just to get to court.
Ugh.
And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And I agree with most of this. So I told her, I reached out and I was like, look, I agree with like 90% of this. And she's like, you do? And I go, yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'll send you back the things that I think we could meet halfway on. And then we go from there. And so I did that. And then we agreed. And then, but her lawyer was telling her to try to take me for more. And she didn't. And also she knows I want to be a dad. Like, every time she needs me to cover, I cover.
Yeah.
Every time she's got to work or something, I want my daughter.
What was the disagreement with the 50-50? Because that sounds like the ideal situation, right?
It is
You're a good dad. And you're a good person. So what's there to argue with as far, you know what I'm saying? Like you getting 50% of
then you argue about how, so when you start looking online at this shit, because we are certainly not the first people that ever had to deal with this, there's a whole, like, you could do 1 week on, 1 week off. You could do 3-3-1. You know, you could break it up 4-3, 4-3. And we do a 2-2-3. So on the week I call the good week, I get my daughter Monday, Tuesday, and then her mom gets her Wednesday, Thursday, and then I get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the next week it flips.
It flips. Okay.
And I get Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm only getting 2 days. So you go a 5 and a 2. I tried to say, why don't we swap that Sunday and do a 4 and a 3 and just a little more balance? And she didn't want to do it. And I was like, okay, fine. So it allows me to still do stand up and book shows around that.
Yeah.
But you know, they hit you with all these costs. Just getting in court is expensive. So I pull up. I pull up to the fucking courthouse to park, and it was $25 goddamn dollars. And I said, and it's not valet, guys. I about called her up and said, you know what, on principle, you can have everything you want. I ain't paying $25. Like, I did not
You can keep
budget.
her. I don't have to see her ever again.
I had a
Just
court
keep her.
budget. $25 was not in the parking budget. That was 3 times at court. At $8.33.
No, absolutely. Why don't they validate?
They don't, because they know you got to come.
Yeah.
It's all a
and
racket.
stay for a long time.
That's right. And you don't want to walk blocks. You want to park right fucking there.
I hate everybody.
So
I do. Like,
right when this first happened, I'm doing Jeremiah stand up on the spot.
Yep. Fun show.
And I'm hoping someone doesn't throw out something about relationships, because
it's too soon.
It's not only is it too soon, it's all I could talk about.
Right.
I don't have anything but this fresh wound of shit to talk about. And
did someone say?
We sail all the way to the end. Scot-free, untouched.
So wait, really quickly, I just want to describe the show to our listeners because they don't have any idea. So it's kind of an improv with stand-up mashup where the audience will yell out a word and then the comedian has to riff on whatever topic is thrown out. So
you
made it to the end.
Stand-up on the spot.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You made it to the end of your set and then somebody yells out.
Right at the very end, Jeremiah, who I love, hits me with a light, and I'm like, all right, it's the last one. Who's got something? And this bitch up over here on the balcony in the corner said, relationships. I said, you gotta be
Are you sure it wasn't your ex?
I know.
She's in the corner. She bought a ticket just to fuck you up.
Just to yell it.
What? And how do you feel about relationships?
And
like, why are you so angry?
Jay Larson's there, and obviously he knows everything because we were doing the crab feast at the time together, so we're talking about it all the time. And I just go, you want to know about relationships? You want me to get fucking real up in here right now?
We'll do it live.
I go, let me tell you about relationships. You think they're difficult? I said, try sitting down with your daughter's mother when she's kicking you out of the house to go be a single parent for the first time, and you're divvying up your baby's socks. This room went, I said, good night.
And you just walked off after that?
And that was it. And Larson's like, I can't believe it was right at the end. It was right at the end. And now I said, you asked. And then I wrapped it up.
I'm telling you, you manifested that, dude. You were thinking about it so much and somebody was not going to let you get away with that. It's hilarious. Like, it's such a funny moment. And look, you got a great story out of it. That was ridiculous.
I mean, all you can do is laugh at it.
Or you go crazy.
I cried enough, yeah.
Yeah, you go crazy. So where are you guys now? Everything is... We
get along. I would say, seriously... Here we go back to the letter grades, but I'd say
on a scale,
I'd say 7 to 8 out of 10.
We doing numbers now?
Wait, don't throw that around.
We doing numbers.
You stay with letters or numbers?
Yeah, we gotta go back to letters.
On letters, I'd say we do we're in the C plus to
I would say an incomplete.
B.
How long has it
been? C plus to B pocket.
How long has it been?
It's been now 3 years.
Since you've been split up.
Mm-hmm. She was 1 and it's a little longer than that. She's about 4.5 now, so 3.5 years, yeah.
But it sounds
I love it. It took me, and I knew it would. It's just like any other change in life. It sucks, but usually it's for the best, and it takes you a while. Part of the anxiety for me of change is you get so comfortable in a place and in a groove, like, when you're in your kitchen, you can ask you know, hip shut your cabinets. You know where everything is. You're back here pulling drawers up because you've been there and there's a familiarity. It's that learning, like, all right, I got it. So for a little while, I was like, I got to get up and get this little girl breakfast. I got to get her dressed. She doesn't know how to, she's still potty training.
Yeah.
We got diapers. I got to take a pacifier out.
Wait a second. So you were doing that in the first year by yourself in your own apartment?
For his week.
At one, she was 1 year old, and then yes, I'm out, and then I'm doing all that by myself.
Like changing diapers
on
your own with nobody teaching you how to do it?
No. Well, I've done it for the first year. So
it's pretty self-explanatory, right?
Those aren't hard. Yeah, you just got
Have you changed a diaper?
Never.
Oh, no?
You've never changed? You've never babysat a baby?
Nope. And my sisters try to get me to change their kids. I'm like, no way.
I
don't have them. That's why I don't have them.
You don't need
I know.
to.
That's what I mean. I can go my whole life without changing a diaper.
Yeah, no, I'm not
And/or
recommending
babysitting.
it. I'm not recommending
Yeah,
it.
who wants to touch somebody else's shit?
No, I know. I just know.
Unless it's your kid, then you care about it. But I don't care.
And I'm there, and one night I wake up and I put my hand on the bed and it was like, ew, what is that? And I just look over at her. She's like 1.5 years and she just looks at me. She goes, what happened? And I turn the light on.
Oh, no.
It looked like a fucking frat boy came in threw up all over. I was like, that came out of your tiny ass little stomach. I held up her fist. I was like, this is your stomach. That came out. It was so gross. So then
she was sick?
So sick. And then another time she's been sick where I had to take her to the ER because she threw up for
scary.
2.5 hours straight. Like she was convulsing on the floor. They said it was either that. Well, it was a stomach virus because it went from her 24 hours later, her mom, and that's when I was like, I'm next, and I was definitely next.
And you were.
And it was a straight up 24 hours. You run a high fever, throw up, toilet, and then boom, gone. All these new things in preschool.
No, my sister had a story like that about my nephew when he was super young. It's the one story she tells when he gets sick because it was so disgusting, like the vomit and everything. And she didn't get sick, luckily. She's got a very strong immune system, but yeah, no, it's if you have kids, you're sick now because you have.
You're sick all the time. I feel like she has a little bit of a runny nose, like all these kids from like January to May. I feel like they all do.
Explain the perks of having a kid.
Unconditional love.
You finally get to love something, for sure, and it's not gonna go anywhere. It's like that person is here. Like
the other thing too,
they can't leave you.
She says shit to me
until they're like 18, and then they say they hate you.
Then you want them to leave.
But
at that
then
point.
It cycles back if you take care of yourself long enough. When they hit their late 20s, 30s, they come back and go, "How the fuck did you do all that?" You're like, thank God.
Yeah.
But I fly her back to Maryland to see my brothers and all her cousins. I don't sit around. We're out. We're at the parks. We're at play places. We're at Legoland. We're at Disney. We're, whatever. We're flying kites at the beach. We're riding bikes. We're scooting. We're going to friends' homes who have kids. And, I love it.
You make play dates with other parents?
Other guys that have girls.
No
boys
chicks?
that I know.
Because I would think that's a nice way to get women.
Yeah, no. I don't
you want to do a play day?
Yeah, I stay away from any of the ladies at the preschool or any of that stuff.
Why is that?
It could be a conflict of interest.
Trouble. Yeah,
you could if something happens and it's a bad breakup, and then you got to keep seeing that person because it's kind of like you shit where you sleep.
When my stepson was playing baseball, I remember I was on the phone with his mom. It's round 1, and she's like, oh my God, I got to call you back. Oh my God. And then I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, I'm okay. Oh my God. Calls me back. And a guy, so there was a teacher at the school, his elementary school, who was having an affair with a parent.
Ooh.
And both of them are married. She's married. The parent, the guy's married. And at the baseball game, the husband of the teacher showed up and got out of the car and started beating him in the street in front of everybody. And exposed it publicly. And I have rememred that. And I wasn't even there. I remember hearing about that. And I was like, I'm okay.
No, that's fucked up. But that's an extreme.
That's a risk
circumstance. Yeah.
The risk you take.
That guy probably didn't think that was going to happen.
All right, so it doesn't help dating, having a kid?
That's got to be hard because you don't want to introduce
dating's hard
anybody.
Because when you date, especially someone else who has another kid, they get it. But also, if their co-parent doesn't cover that weekend, then you don't see them. You know what I mean? So
schedules.
I have a ridiculous schedule. I do so much with stand-up podcasting. I'm on shows, producing shows. I have a writing gig. And then at night when I can, I'm trying to get out 3-4 nights a week and still do stand-up.
Right.
So I don't have free time, you know? I really don't. And I want to get to a point where I can slow down, but I don't feel like I'm there yet. And I do enjoy working. The work we do is fun. I like it. It's a struggle. It's real, but I do really like the work. And, you know, I take my daughter to the studio and stuff, and she knows what's up. I have a little video of her on my Instagram. She reached right up and grabbed it. I go, you got a story to tell? She'll grab the mic and be like, listen, everybody. And we sit down. My grandmom used to do that when we were kids. My brother and I had twin beds, and we'd slide them together when she'd come visit, and she'd lay in the middle, and we would just make her make up stories. And I didn't realize now that she was straight up improving these bullshit stories that were hilarious and made us laugh. And it was something I always remembered. So I do that with my daughter now. Like, well, she'll like, make up a princess one. And I'm like, all right. And then I try to incorporate like real shit from her life and make it ridiculously funny and stuff. And she gets it. So nothing makes me happier than when I went to school the other day to get her and I did something. She's like, you're really funny, Daddy. And I was like, what's up?
That's all that matters. You can quit comedy now.
That's it. I'm done.
Drops mic. You're okay with dating someone who has a kid?
Oh, yeah. I dated her. My daughter's mom.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying now that you have a daughter and you still have a relationship with the other stepson.
Yeah, his dad and
I'm basically asking, what is too many kids for you?
That's a good. You know what?
When are you gonna stop?
And I also wouldn't rule out another kid either.
Your own biological,
yeah, or somebody else's. I don't know. I don't think I would adopt just because there's enough.
What
kids
about the son? Do you still see him?
Oh yeah, all the time. Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? You just see him outside of the circumstance?
Well, he lives with his dad now, so he'll come and he'll come visit because my daughter's name's Stella, and he's Derek, which is crazy because that's my twin brother's name. I can't shake that fucking name. And
it's pronounced Dirk.
It's Dirk.
It's like what?
He's Ort. His name's a work of art. And so he'll come in and visit, like, you know, every other weekend or something. But I go out there and see him. His grandparents were just here. I'm close with them. So I drove him out to Valencia to see them because they were visiting. I took him to the Ravens-Chargers, goddamn Ravens-Chargers game in San Diego, right here. And
I don't even like birds anymore.
Nevermore.
Edgar Allan Poe, done with it all.
That's why they're the Ravens. You know that? Did you know that?
Wait, because of Poe?
Yeah, so Edgar Allan Poe spent a ton of time in Baltimore.
Because they all should kill themselves. That's why.
There's an Edgar Allan Poe house there in Baltimore. I don't think he was actually born. I think he was born in New York, but the majority of his life and the popular works were in Baltimore. So when
I didn't know
the name came around, there was shit like the Bay Lynx, and I don't even think that's a real cat. I think
Bay?
Because of Chesapeake Bay, and they just wanted I really don't think that's a real. I'm pretty sure there are no lynx roaming the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, no,
I'm wrong a lot.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
But then when the Ravens came, I was like, that's
a good one
right there. So I love that it's tied to Edgar
What's the difference between a raven and a crow?
Well, ravens are really they're one of the smartest birds. They're bigger. And I watched
bigger than crows?
Yeah,
crows are pretty.
We're in Eagleville now. I mean,
ravens are big.
But
really
not
big.
But not
they have a live one
like a pterodactyl.
Actually, they're cousins of pterodactyl. They have a live one that flies off some dude's hand at the stadium, and it goes up to the top and then flies right back down his arm. It's fucking big. But I watched this documentary one night, and I cannot find it. It was a British documentary because I'm such a Ravens fan and a Baltimore homer. I'll put it in the search, Baltimore or Ravens. I see this Ravens thing come up, and I click on it. And it was a doc on the actual birds. And I was like, huh. And I didn't know how smart they were and how vicious they can fucking be. But this one lady in England had a pet raven, right?
People with pet birds, I don't get it.
It is weird. But this one was okay. You cage up a bird, you're a real fucking
That's how I feel. You know, like that's the worst
the only
thing
animal that can fly.
The fly. Mm-hmm. I would hate you. If I was a bird, as soon as I got out, I would peck your eyes out.
I would those eyes.
Kill you.
I'm eating those eyes. Like, we ain't going anywhere till we eat these eyes.
What happened to Candice? Oh, that bird got that bird.
So This lady had one of those. It's one of those old style British cars. It's just like, you know what I'm talking about? It's like
Model T.
It's a little tiny thing. It looks like a Yugo, but like it's more almost like a U upside down. It's one of those weird little British cars.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
If you saw one, you'd be like, oh,
I think I know exactly.
You know, it's a European vehicle.
Yeah.
And she would leave the windows down. She'd leave the keys in the ignition, and this motherfucking Raven would fly in, and with his beak, he'd grab it. He'd start the car for her. And he'd sit on the windowsill till she got out there, and she'd get in and she'd go for a country ride, and this motherfucker would fly right next to the car the whole time.
Wow.
How do you train that bird to do that?
I don't think she did. That's what I'm saying. I think this bird was just into it.
Yeah, he just fucked with her.
And he loved her. He lived in the house and everything.
He was ride or die.
And flew next to the car the whole ride. It was the shit. You'd see him from the profile, you'd see him coming in the window. Like he's out there flying, and she'd hit the gas. He'd come back, then he'd speed up.
Wait, so was this documentary just about this woman and this bird?
It was about ravens in general, but that was a little.
You watched
piece
a
in
Raven.
I'm trying to tell.
About the football team? No, about the bird.
Else, but that motherfucking starting the car had me roped in. I was like, let me watch the rest of this. Most kids, you couldn't be like, go out and start the car. They wouldn't know how to do it.
And she trained this bird.
That bird did it.
Won't he do it? So, okay, and you might not have an answer to this because maybe you haven't thought about it, but what is, because this is a future, like in the future, what is something that your daughter could say to you that she wants to do that would disappoint the shit out of you?
It's a good question.
As she's like older. Picture her like as a teenager and she's like, Dad, I want to do this. What would you be like?
You mean excluding things, obviously
like stripping.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I wasn't even going with stripping.
Yeah, you haven't thought about her stripping?
I thought about her not stripping. That's what I thought about. Like, you better not fucking...
Chris Rockstroke, he's like, as a father, you only have one job. It's keep her off the pole.
Yeah, well, there's more. Keep her out of porn. There's no poles in porn.
Well, you know, poles is a gateway to that stuff.
That's the marijuana.
I feel, look, I would support my daughter in anything. It would be tough. I wouldn't hate it. It would be tough to support, like, competitive cheering.
Hey.
Competitive. Hey. You were a competitive cheer? You were, weren't you? You were. You told that on Crap. It would be
that would be the toughest thing?
Yeah, why was that disappointing? That's a skill.
That's not disappointing.
There's gymnastics involved.
All right.
It was great. We were amazing, our squad.
Was your dad there all the time?
Not all the time. My mom was.
Yeah, well, of course. Mom's
But I'm a girl. I could understand it'd be tougher if it was your son trying to be like, I want to be a competitive cheerleader.
This isn't you wouldn't want to show up. This is like you don't want her to do it.
All right. Let me see.
Yeah. What would like disappointing?
Yeah.
Disappointing.
Like you would want her to not.
Like some fathers would not want her to get tattoos or not want her to date a certain race or
which
whatever.
is fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this.
Listen, she can date who and what she wants.
I can't think of anything.
I mean, I'll never go against that. Yeah, that's a tough question. I have to think though.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Having an affair.
Give me an example.
Having an affair with a married man.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean,
not as a teenager, but
yeah.
Further on, if she came to you,
let's even say 18, where you can.
What if, and
he's older and
not even an affair? But what about she wants to date a dude?
Little League. First thing I'll do, but let me tell you something.
You about to get your ass beat.
Okay.
And he's gonna have a raven that might claw your eyes out.
You don't know. Eyes out.
You don't know what kind of pets this man has.
Ravens be brought you here. Ravens be taking you out.
I forgot you were a competitive cheerleader. I really.
How dare you? How dare you? We were great. We won trophies. Coach Nick, I miss her. Anyway, or like, what if she came home when she was 18 and she came home with a 30-year-old dude?
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. That sure. For sure. If you're a child like that, then yeah.
Have you ever dated someone that young?
I'll be disappointed.
Yeah. No. What's the biggest age difference?
Of dating? Not much. Not dating.
What's the amount of years that would not bother you with your daughter? If she came home as 18, could she come home with a 25-year-old?
No.
23.
Yeah.
14.
22.
Would it be disappointing if she became a pothead?
Oh, yeah.
If she was a non-functional pothead, it would absolutely.
Because you smoke weed.
I do.
But like full on
would you smoke
dreads
with her?
and like lifestyle and wearing the weed leaf on shirts and shit.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Would you smoke with her?
No, I've said that before too. Here's my thing. And I don't want to say no in absolutes and all that, but I'll also go back to your question. I feel like late 20s for dating an older guy then use your discretion. Okay, that's what I'll say. If you're in your late 20s, you're out.
For sure.
You're out of
Because
college,
you're a full-blown
then use your
adult.
discretion.
Yeah.
Late 20s meets 60?
20. Oh,
No, that's disgusting.
That's not discretion.
No, that's
disgusting.
I'm just saying.
You're right about that.
It's disgusting, and there's problems. That means that you're either your daughter's a gold digger at this point.
And you better be a good one if you're going to do it.
For sure.
All
You
right,
dating
wait.
a 6-year-old for love? That's just stupid.
Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Just get some
that's
gloves
just
if you're going
dumb.
to be pushing his wheelchair
Yeah.
everywhere. It's counts. Okay, wait, what were we talking about? You
What was?
asked me a
The
question.
weed.
Oh, yeah. If
Would you smoke with her?
I think if I'm going to smoke with my daughter, it would be at a point in her life when she's a mom. And I feel like it's a late night. The kids are put to sleep. And we sit out back and have one and just talk and catch up. I would say if I'm going to do it, it's like that. I'm not going to do it like when she's 21 in college or something like that. I don't need to get high with my daughter. But if I'm going to have a moment with my daughter, I feel like it will be something like that sort of moment. If I, who knows, maybe a death. And we sit out back
trigger
and
it
smoke a joint and talk. Yeah.
What at what age do you plan to have the sex talk or boys talk with her?
Oh, I went to school the other day. I say school is preschool, and she's 4, and it's just her and this little boy left reading story time. The teacher's reading story time. She's like, "Can we stay?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can listen to the story." And here, give me your hand. She holds his hand like this.
Be careful with my finger.
And she holds it up, and she shows me, and then she reaches over and holds his hand, and she shows me. And I just started smiling. I was like, "Oh, fucking ready." 4 years old.
Hey, my first crush was kindergarten.
That's where we're at.
I had a full blown. His name was Daigo Kasami.
Wow.
And, he was Japanese, obviously. And I remember I had a birthday party. This was when we were in Queens, and I invited him to my birthday party. We went to a roller skating rink. There's a picture that my mom still has of the two of us holding hands going around a roller skating rink. And I was heartbroken when he moved in first grade. He moved to California. I was heartbroken.
Have you looked him up?
I have looked up Daigo Kasami. I looked him up on Facebook.
He's a competitive cheerleader.
With a raven. So weird.
They do have male cheerleaders.
And I looked him up. I couldn't find him, but he did move to California. I don't know what part. But I remember we had a music class, and we used to sing real songs in my music class. And there was a song called "Every Time You Go Away."
I know that one.
And
John Waite, right?
Every time we sang it, I would tear. And I had no idea if he felt the same way about me. All I know is he held my hand that day on my birthday. But in my head, that was my boo.
Yeah.
Daigo, if you listening to this, Daigo, call in.
Or just call me.
Yeah, or call me. My number is 323.
I'm going to have it as early as I need to have it. I'm not uncomfortable about any of that stuff. None of it. Periods, tampon. I don't give a shit. I mean, she'll probably be more uncomfortable than I am when I go, "You need me to get tampons? I'm going to the grocery store." That's probably
But
not.
her mom's going to have the talk with her about
but
that.
I'm going to talk because she's going to be with me half the time, so I need to know what's going on.
For sure, yeah.
I don't want her to be embarrassed. All that. Urinary
Is that
tract
something you have to
infections,
talk
yeast
to the mom
infections,
about? You have to co-parent together and decide, all right, so we're going to do it at this time. Like,
Look.
she can't be having the sex talk 2 years earlier than you want.
No.
That's not right,
You know,
co-parent.
you're on the same page on that. We're on the same. I'm telling you, like we have our moments, but considering everything, we do pretty damn good. I think.
No, I think you're the only one.
All that matters is what my daughter thinks, though. That's all I care about. Like, I don't ever speak poorly of her mom or anything like that in front of her. I don't ever do that. And I've learned just from having the honeydew, just for a few episodes, like Eleanor Kerrigan talking about
Love Eleanor
being one of 10 and her dad
so
bailing
insane.
and only loving one child and not the mom, saying, I'm married to you, and now we have a daughter, and I look at the daughter and I look at you and I go, sorry, I only have love for one woman in my life, and that woman's no longer you. It's this one, and not the other fucking 9 kids we have either, P.S.
Wow.
And she said never once did her mom ever put him down or talk poorly about him.
in front of the kids.
And she said, I still talk to him. And she's like, it mattered. It made a difference.
For sure.
That
Even if he's a piece of shit.
That's
like,
right. You're not saying it, pumping it into their brains, all because it's toxic.
I'm glad you're out in the world.
That's nice of you to say.
Yeah, I really am. You're a really great dad.
I appreciate that. That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brenda.
It means a lot.
No, you're right. And you guys, you guys just met, so you guys didn't even know it, but immediately you can tell, like, he's just got a great energy, and you're a good guy.
I'm trying for sure.
No, you are doing it. I mean, maybe there's more stuff to do in the future, but like you're representing and shifting your life for your daughter, and making sure that she's first and willing to change for her. Those are all amazing qualities
things
to just do for yourself, let alone for another human
person.
being.
She just started going through these like little temper tantrums with her mom. I didn't really get them. I got a couple little ones, but she was just really up her mom's ass. And but I've also read a lot like that's boys with, because I remember one time I wanted to beat my dad's ass, and I thought I could beat my dad's ass.
How old were you?
Probably 15,
He's like
14.
Like,
high school, feeling myself a little bit. Man, my dad's like, come on. And I went at him, and let me tell you something. I could not fuck my dad up.
Yeah.
He put me down so fast where you realize, like, okay, all right. So I said to her, I go, what's going on? And I talked to her like an adult, and I'm like, are you upset with something? Are you upset with me? And she's like, no. Are you upset with mom? She goes, yeah. And I go, but why? She goes, I just don't see her. I don't feel like I see her as much. And I go, well, would you like to do things as a family more often? Like, would that make you feel better? She's like, yeah. And I said, why don't we all do a family dinner? So she picks La Vecchia on Main Street. Got expensive taste.
Hilarious.
She loves their spaghetti and bread.
She's like, I want to go to Katana.
And like,
how do you even know?
Order off the secret menu.
She's like, that's where Blue Ivy goes. Bitch, you are not Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter.
We just did a family dinner the other night, and her brother came in, and the four of us went, and she loved it. She loved it. So if that's what I have to do to make sure my daughter's healthy and happy, then that ain't that hard.
And
I mean, if we're all going to look, if you can act like an asshole or a sports figure or a hero or a goddamn gladiator in television an hour a week, you can sit down and act like you like your fucking kid's parent and get along if that's what's going to make shit work.
Yeah.
So, that's at least the way I look at it.
Oh, sorry. We've had such a good time. We have to wrap this up. I apologize.
Wrap it up like your finger.
Like my finger. It's too soon, Ryan. But I would like to say really quickly that I think, and I'm just coming to this revelation right now, is like I think one of the reasons why I did not want to have kids is because I looked at my parents and I saw that like literally everything that they did was for me and my sister. Everything that they do to this day is still for their family. Like there's nothing that my family
They will
does.
Die for you. There's
They
nothing.
will, but not only that, but like every action that my dad does is for the family.
Right.
Nothing is a selfish act for himself. And I'm like, I was like, yeah, I don't think I could ever sacrifice that because I know like that's how serious having a kid is. And we see
if you're serious about it.
If you're serious about it. But we see the repercussions of people that don't. And we know.
Comedy.
Right. And I know I'm not, again, there's of course exceptions to the rules because I had great parents, but most people don't. They do not. And so it's, I think I had to step away from that because I'm like, I don't have that energy to do, I'm being selfish and I want to continue being selfish with my career and stuff like that. But thank you for making a good person.
Thank you.
Because there's so many shitty people in the world. We don't need any more. You hear me out there? If you raising a kid, do your job right so we don't have to deal with shit.
Parenting's a long game.
If you're a shitty person, just don't make kids.
Have kids.
Just don't procreate,
Parenting's a long game. Don't think you're a good parent because you put in 5 years and then you just can check the fuck out. Like you got to go all the way. All the way.
It's the long game.
That's right.
Oh, well, thank you, Ryan, for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This
fantastic.
was great.
Yay. You guys, I didn't say this at the top of the show, but if you haven't subscribed to The Struggle and you listen to this regularly or you're a new listener, please do that. We're on all platforms. We're also on YouTube now. Please watch the videos and subscribe and also rate and review us on iTunes. It truly makes a difference. And if you haven't told somebody about The Struggle, please do. A word of mouth is probably the biggest way and the easiest way to share. If you're sitting at work and there's somebody next to you that it seems like they're having a bad day, hey, you want to laugh? There's a podcast I'll be listening to called The Struggle. So pay it forward, guys. Really appreciate you listening. You can find me on social media at Jokes by Candice, on CandiceThompsonComedy.com for my shows. And Brenda, one more time.
You can find me at Instagram at Brenda Colonna. And that's it.
And Ryan, one more time.
RyanSickler.com, Ryan Sickler on all social media.
And check out